Hey folks, welcome back to my channel, and this is the next edition of Have You Heard, where I bring you albums you may not have heard of before and trying to turn you on to something new. So today we're going to be looking at the Bzz. Now the Bzz came from another band in the Illinois area, and I'll show that album here in a minute. But the Bzz, very cool album art, by the way. That's a very detailed painting there. I'll talk about that artist as well, but this band is the first unsigned band ever to play on American Bandstand. There are videos on YouTube of them on American Bandstand, and the way I heard about them is my friend Tim was dating the lead singer's sister, and we went to see the band play up in Chicago, and before we went to their parents' house, and we watched a VHS tape of the band on American Bandstand, which was really cool. We were so amped up. We watched an opening band called Vengeance, and then we watched the Bzz, and it was a fairly tight bar, and they're a great band to see live. And they haven't been around for a while, but this one came out in 1983, I believe. 1982, I'm sorry. But here's the band right here. Tom Holland is the lead singer, David Angel on bass, Mike Tafoya on guitar, Anatol Halenkovich on keyboards, and Steve Riley on drums, who a lot of you are probably going to recognize. He also played with Wasp and LA Guns and I believe Keel, and Steve passed away a few years ago. God rest his soul. A hell of a slamming drummer, but this album is, I like it. It's going to bring you back to the early 80s, and that's kind of what it sounds like. It's kind of power pop with a little bit of edge, a little bit of balls, just straightforward, solid. And Tom's voice is fantastic. It's a really, really good band. And I'm glad I know about these guys. I'm glad I got to meet them. In fact, after the show, we went back to Tom's house, I believe. I think it was in Lake Geneva, and had some pizza, and I crashed on one of the couches downstairs. I woke up the next morning, and Steve was flipping between cartoons and wrestling and sharing cold pizza with him. And then he showed me a drum set that he had for sale. A nice Ludwig Blue Sparkle double kick set he wanted $1,000 for, which right now that would have been a hell of a deal. But I was a broke kid. I was like 17, and I didn't have the money. I worked at Burger Chef. But this is a great album, folks. The Bzz. Again, check them out on Bandstand, and I think they've got other music from this album on there. Now, Mike Tafoya, the guitarist, guy with the green boots when I met him, nice guy. He played with Tafoya's Lost Boys, which came after this. And these guys came out of this band, The Boys. The Boys from Illinois. And this is described kind of like a biker boogie band. And it's pretty cool. It's a good album. Lead singer Dirty Dan Buck. That's him on the cover. But David Angel, the bass player, Mike Tafoya, and Anatol Halenkovich, the keyboard player, they came from The Boys. And then we're in the Bzz. Now, cool thing about this album cover, the artist, very skilled artist, his name is Araldo Carugati, Carugati, Araldo Carugati. And he did this one. He also did these albums, which I think you're going to know. He did that one. And again, it's highly detailed. Look at, it's very similar to that B, but he did Rush, Fly By Night, and he also did these Kiss albums, all these singles. Same artist, great detail, highly realistic, but I don't know how they scored him for this album cover, but folks, if you haven't heard it, this is one to check out. It might be a little soft. It's not quite bubblegum. It's like I said, it's some power pop, but it's got an edge to it, and I dig it. I mean, there's a lot of hooks in here, and I catch myself, singing these throughout the day after I've heard this album. But it's a good one to listen to. I just listened to it again the other day. Check it out, folks, The Bzz. And if you like the video, please click like, click the bell notification to be aware of any other uploads that I put up. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again, folks. More of these episodes to come. Thank you.